Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it. You ask me how we got here, 'cause you don't know how. You say we're taking on water, yeah, we're sinking now. You're looking all concerned, like we're gonna drown. But we both know how to swim, no worries, let's go for now. Let's take it slow. Where you go, I go too. And if you hit the bottom, I'm going down with you. Let's take it slow. Who cares where we gotta be? You know you'll have a good time wherever you're with me. Let's take it.
Okay, dokey. Let's begin. Yes, since last time, what have we done? Well, not much yesterday. I was preoccupied with people fixing the bathroom. And today, very early today, I managed to set up a little Trello board. And on that board, I have tried to move everything I can think of, at least in the early stages that we have to set up. And especially the more important things, such as the, chunk loading and visibility range and all the things we have to do. And I have tried to categorize them in such a way that we have products, that's being the, you can call them the main task. And each product has subtasks, usually one or more. And this allows us to organize this a bit better than we did before on GitHub, because on GitHub, the way we organized things were not great. It was quite horrible, actually. The threshold to add new tasks and edit information on GitHub project is way higher than just doing it on Trello. And just because that threshold to do that is so high, it makes it not worth using GitHub anymore. So I have closed all the projects, well, not the project, but the tasks we had on our project on GitHub. And I made a new Trello board, and I hope to make this public, but I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll see. So today we're going to be working on adding support for multiple biomes, and we're going to be working on creating, well, not creating, but optimizing our existing chunk generation. Currently, when we generate chunks, the server sends us a big list of things that are around us. Well, when I say chunk in this case, I don't mean the environment, I don't mean the background, the water and the scenery. I mean the environment, the trees, the rocks, the pebbles, all the things we are sending and receiving from the server. We are currently getting a one list to rule them all. And in that list contains no information about what's new and what's old. And what we have been doing so far on the client side is to filter out, just check manually which one has been removed, which items have been removed since last time, and which item has been added since the last time, and then we create our own list on the client side. But if we change this system, making it more optimized by having each chunk contain a position, that would be essentially the chunk ID, and each chunk containing its own information about what's in that chunk, it would be way easier for us to send that information, having that information about where the chunk is, the position, and what's in that chunk, the contents. As well as to remove chunks, because instead of sending in a list of things to remove, I just send in the position of that chunk, and then we remove it. It's so easy. Let's see. So yeah, I can just take a little quick look here. So if you want to look at all this, you can just pause in the future. If you're watching this from my playlist on YouTube, or if you're watching this live, well, that's gonna be a bit more difficult to pause, I guess, but okay, let's begin. I should stop saying that. Why am I saying that? Let's run our server, and let's run our client and make sure things work, because there's always a chance that something breaks when you sleep. Because I'm sure there's some sort of trolls just showing up on my desk, climbing up on my desk and press buttons and changes code, which makes it break. Let's connect. Excellent. Seems to be working fine. Yeah, perfect. So, yeah, we fixed the basic interaction with the pebble, and we have the visibility change on the tree. But we still have a lot more to do in regards to that. But we're taking a few steps back since last time. We do have procedural generation right now, which works just fine. But it can be better, and when we add more and more players, it's going to be a lot of information that the server has to hold on to. So we are going to be redoing this, and we have a great example we can look at. Let me close this. Now this Nesi individual has created a few samples for us. One on GitHub, well, both on GitHub, with one on GDScript, one with C#. And having looked at the C# version, which we have added in our own project, on the calendar button project, we tried to figure this out and understand how this is set up. And we have to make our own changes because this is single player oriented, you could say. And we are working on a multiplayer scale. Hello, hacker or code, welcome. So with the changes we need to do, we need to make sure that the client only, communicates with the server for security purposes. Well, not security as much as just making sure they can't cheat as easily as they could if we had them keep that in their own client. So if we run this, we will have a great example. This visualizes how the chunk loading works. So you're always going to be in the middle chunk. So no matter how great or how small your chunk range is, which currently is shown as 1 right now. If it's 2, you will also in the middle of a row of 5 times 5, sorry. Let's see, let's try to increase the rendezvous to 2. So now we have 5 times 5, and I want this functionality. I want it to be this easy to configure how much data you want to load in from the server. Now, since this is the server that's going to be doing this, we will not allow the clients themselves to decide the, number of chunks that you're going to load in, because it's after all a 2D top-down game. And it doesn't make sense why one client would want to see more outside of the view, which they cannot see at all, than others. Now, one exception may be if you have a very wide monitor, but even that, we probably want to make sure that it remains fair towards the other player. So I don't just set up 3 widescreens next to each other, have a ginormous long game. Now that would be kind of cool, but also not very fair towards other players. So we will have and set up visibility for the player as well. Let's see if we can't understand this properly. He coded this in such a nice way. It's so clean, but it's difficult to understand because it's so clean. He calculates the player chunk position using the player position, and that is fine. We have also done the same in our own code. If we scroll down, I'm sure we can find it. But this is the client, hold on. Where is it? Load chunks, here it is. Now, my code on the right side is not so clean. I have not been focusing on so much writing maintainable code as I have been prototyping. This entire game, at least early on, the 0-point version is going to be pretty much a prototype. And we will probably end up having a few sessions where we clean up the code. But that's not the point right now. The point is, this is how we calculate the chunk coordinates from the player position. All of this. And then you set it into a vector 2D. So I guess I can do this. And we can probably put this into a function to make it more readable. Let's create a function on top here. Get chunk pause. And we need, what do we need? We need the player, we don't need the player actually, because we have reference to the player data. So I can just copy all of this, I guess. Let's see, let's return the player chunk at the end. And with Godot 4.0, using static and expressive variable naming will allow you to run this a little faster. So let's add that as a vector 2. What's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, my bad. Should be like this. It's been 1 day since I used Godot last time. No wonder I forget this. So from here, I can now remove all this. And replace this with the get chunk position. So we can keep what we have so far, I believe. Given that they behave correctly and the coordinates are the same. We don't use a 0, 0 chunk position. Let me verify that by running this. What will be our 0, 0 if we keep going top left? Yeah. Oh my god, there are 0, 0 here. 0. There's 0, 0. That's interesting. I need to figure out how he did that. Hello, Soroi33. Welcome back. We just started. You just made it today. We'll probably be going on for a few hours. And right now I'm trying to figure out the chunk loading on the example by Nesi. He has 0, 0 position. I don't have 0, 0 position on my load data. Or rather chunk data. I haven't quite figured out how to do that. Interesting. How does he identify the chunks? Oh, my bad. Chunk position doesn't exist? Did I delete something by accident? I think I did. Oh. Let me undo that then. Why did I delete this one? Oh my god. Let's see, we get our chunk position. How does he get our chunk position? He just gets a vector 2. He calculates the position y divided by chunk size. And if position is less than 0, you... Wait, what? If position x is less than 0, you remove 1 from x. Ah, that's how we handle this. Interesting. Hold on, let me test this out. Let's print this. Let's figure out what the real chunk position is when we walk and move around. Okay. Let's go to 0, 0. Now the logging in the lower left is just the supposed chunk coordinate. But I want to see what we get when you go to a negative area. Oh. So we do have 0, 0 somewhere. How does this work? It is accurate. It is really... Oh, that's why. Yes, this is the issue I had. Okay, he handles this way. He just reduced by another one as long as it's negative. So whenever you are in the negative space, you reduce it by 1. Otherwise you will get 0 and that wouldn't be correct. Huh, cool. Okay, let's try this. Let's try this. Let's rewrite our code so we can work with this. Since last time I fixed some issue with the transitioning between the left and right screen. I noticed the lower bar kind of flew in and out, and that was so annoying, and I apologize for that if you watched last time. Let's see, play chunk. So how do we do this? We get the position, right? It's the same as the pos y and x. Then you divide it by the chunk size, and then I plussed origin, which is completely pointless because it's just 0. I believe I did add that to be explicit, because the way this math works is by adding origin, because if you change origin it will be a bit different. Origin being the center of the map. You could change the center of the map if you wanted by changing that value. So now we have chunk x and chunk y. Same as we do here. It's the same math, no difference. And if it's less than 0, or do you remove 1? Really, that's it? While I, on the right side, have a very complicated mathematical formula. So if chunk plus 1, we choose chunk plus 1 if chunk is greater than or 0, greater than or equal to 1. Then we add 1. Just to make sure we don't get any chunk position of 0, 0, 0, 1, and so on. Because that didn't work with the way we did things. But let's try doing it this way. Let's try just reducing it and see if we can make this work. Because frankly, the way Nesi did is way better than what we did, and I'm not afraid or ashamed to admit that. And by doing that, I hope to learn and adapt his style to my own project. Let's see. Chunk x. If chunk x is less than 0, we're gonna reduce it by 1. Minus equals 1. And the same we do for the y. Very good, very good. There we go. And then I can just return this instead of making an object. Excellent, excellent. Okay, so now we have done the changes on the client. So, but here's the issue right now. It's not gonna work anymore on the client. It's not gonna work right. You may or may not see anything, but when we go to the center tile, hey, that's, you know, when you stream, you better talk, you know. And I'm trying to, here we go. You see that issue? When I move down, the positioning of the chunk generation is not correct anymore. We have to adapt. I appreciate that you know, appreciate that. I try to verbalize what I'm doing and thinking, how I'm processing, basically, for better and worse, I guess. Let's see. Okay, so this is fine. We are getting our chunk position. What else do we need to do? You load the chunk. Oh yeah, that's pretty straightforward. So what do we do here? Render bounds. Okay, this we are calculating the width and the height of the chunks around us. By default, we want 3 by 3, and 3 by 3 is this. Well, not this, but the 3 in the middle. 3 by 3. I have set the render distance in this project to 2 right now. That means we will have 2 blocks from the center and outwards. And you know, we can use the same math to do this. So the render bounds, I don't like the name render bounds though. It feels a bit misleading, because these are the chunk width and height, the chunk size, I guess, or chunks size. It's the size of all the chunks. Yeah, programming is 99% problem solving. No, actually no, I take it back. Programming is, let's say, 80% reading, 10%, well, 15% problem solving, and 5% trying to find bugs, I guess. I don't know. At least, yeah. But yeah, you get the point. We do a lot of reading. I guess that's part of the problem solving anyway. Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, reading and problem solving. Render bounds. Yeah, let's do that. Let's try that. I will have to change this though. We are currently using chunk loader as a ticker, and when I say ticker, I mean that every 1 second this is going to be triggered. It's going to check if our player position has moved far enough to be inside a new chunk, and if we are, we reload the chunks. So we can leave this one, I think, possibly. So in the beginning of load chunks, I get the player position. And then, depending on whether this is the first time we run this, or if we have a previous chunk. Now, having the previous chunk, or not having it, means we are just spawning. I may just set forceful to true. Is that enough? Because we have a spawn function here, which I had disabled. No, here it is. So when I run generate chunk, interesting. Yeah, I definitely have to separate a lot of code for this to work properly. Because we're doing a lot in one script right now. We are loading in the environment and we handle the chunks, which are separate. They shouldn't be, well, maybe. We still have to fix this. Oh yes, I remember now. I was working on the server side last time. On the server side, we were trying to set this up, because if it works on the server side, we can then move it on to the client. Didn't I make a chunk scene? Yes, I did. Let me turn this up. Yeah. There it is. What do we have? Node 2D class name chunk. How about a chunk loader? Didn't I make a chunk loader? Yeah, there it is. Ah, yes. No, the chunk is the default one. The chunk loader is the new one. I hope. My god. This is what happens when more than 2 days passes by the time you code again. Hello, Ajay. Welcome back. Nice to see you drop by today. Have you made a Twitch account yet? You should make a Twitch account and join me there. In the future, I will not be able to stream on YouTube directly, but you will find all my playlists there. Yes, yesterday I could not work because there were people fixing the bathroom and there was a lot of noise. So that was very inconvenient and unexpected. I did not expect it to be that noisy and take that long. I think they were done 7 or 8 p.m. Normally I stream in my time around 3:30 p.m. Just to give you an idea how long it took. Let's see. Okay, chunk loader. Chunk loader. The loader of chunks. Let's move some code. Let's move some code. I am not going to work on the client side first. That was a mistake. Luckily, I didn't waste my time because we can just copy paste the function we made to get the chunk position. So in the chunk loader, we need to figure out the chunk position based on a player. While I run this, however, I'm not gonna make a player, I'm gonna make a camera. So let's add a camera 2D. And this camera is the one we're gonna move and simulate our player. And this will essentially become a tool for us when we run this on the server. A tool we can run on the server to configure the procedural generation. As we want to have trees and maybe want to change how often they occur and all that things before we then set up the server and allow players in. Similar way to what we did with this one, local chunk. I think I named this right. Yeah, similar way as we did this. We're gonna make one of these, except it's gonna be better. And we're gonna keep this for comparison because I do want to do speed test. I want to make sure that our new solution is better than this solution. This solution is not good. Well, I mean, it works, so I guess that's good then. But it's not good enough, okay? It's not good enough. We're sending a list of everything to the player. We're not gonna do that. We're gonna handle one chunk at a time, and each chunk is gonna own its own things, whatever's in there. The chunk is gonna own it. So if a player does something in this chunk, we're not gonna save this chunk. We're not gonna go through all the other chunks and figure out where you saved it, as we are and have been doing right now on the player. And I apologize for ranting about that. Probably mentioned it 3 times so far during the stream. So let's remove this chunk and focus on the chunk loader. So let's get the camera position. What else do the camera need? Probably need to be set as current, right? And it needs a script because we need to be able to move it. Luckily, I do have a camera script somewhere, which I believe we can use. Camera movement, yes. Just for testing, I'm gonna add a little sprite on our scene. And that sprite is gonna show us whether or not we are moving. Let me just drag the Godot icon here. Yeah, that should be fine. Let's run the scene, take a look. Oh my. Yeah, I should probably fix that, shouldn't I? Let me comment out these, because this is not gonna work until we get some camera access. There we go, excellent. The camera works. Let's close that and resume our work. And remove the sprite. We don't need the sprite anymore. We do need something. We need chunks. We need chunks. And it's not gonna be the chunk we previously had. It's gonna be completely new. A chunk piece, that's what the name is. So this is gonna be a class name chunk. Ease? Chunk? No, it's a chunk. I need to remove this one though, because we cannot name this chunk anymore. Chunky. Chunky. Rename the all to Chunky, and that should be fine. Yes. What do we need to do? Okay, each chunk we need to do something. We need to be able to add data to our chunk. We need to add, I guess, add data, you know? And this is just a simple dictionary of data. Hello, Travis. Welcome. What the hell? Which link is Twitch TV Ivan Skodia? Oh, yeah, I think that's true. Isn't that true? Yeah. You're making me question myself now, right? Twitch TV Ivan Skodia? Yes, that's correct. Someone over on YouTube asked? Oh, sorry, Ajay. I didn't. My eyes skipped over that line. Added like a spot there. Sorry. There's a command on Twitch you can run. Maybe on YouTube as well. Let's see. Someday I'll get used to the Twitch thing. You know, I'll add a more advanced bot that will just detect and sniff whenever someone is asking for a link. It's just gonna know and post YouTube links or Twitch links. So that's a good idea actually, and that's very doable. That's like not difficult at all actually. Huh. My ideas, I need to write them up, otherwise I forget them. YouTube. Here's an idea. Autumn Twitch bot. Let's create a Twitch bot. That's a project for the future, not now. I'm just writing it down so I don't forget. This will be Java. Oh my god. What's happening? Oh, thank you for following Titan3. Oh my god, I cannot handle all this. Ajay Python. Oh, nice Twitch username there, Ajay. I assume it's you, Ajay Kumar from YouTube, right? It's Ravi, really. Thank you for joining on Twitch, because this is where we're gonna be at later. Not yet, you know, maybe in a week or two, maybe 3 weeks. I don't know. Depends how fast Twitch likes me or not, you know. Twitch bots recognize whenever someone is asking for a Twitch link, and the same with you know, YouTube. There we go. It has been added. Let me jump back to our main project, which is the PTAO project. Okay, so what we're doing? Question: why would someone Twitch ask for a Twitch link? That's a good question. It's for me, so I can just write it and it will show up on YouTube as well. That's a good question. Yeah, I should probably have added something on YouTube instead of Twitch. Hello, AI. Yeah, I recognize your name. Add data, right? The data. What's the data? Data is the things on, well, in the chunk, right? That can be, you know, tree, stone, items on the ground, and so on and so on. And every chunk is gonna own it, right? Environment data. That's a good question. Do we want to separate the dictionaries and add a environment dictionary, and then have a items dictionary? I think that would be a good thing. Twitch is just better. I mean, Twitch is a stream website. YouTube is just a, you know, all around, well, video website, I guess. The one thing I like about YouTube is that when you put videos on, it's staying there forever. On Twitch, not so much. Even if you're a streamer of how many? Yeah, no, I like Twitch for streaming more. It allows me to separate the you know, my videos from the streams, because I'm sure many has been pissed off by getting my name in the top every day when they log on to YouTube, seeing I'm live, you know. Yes. So the data we need to add. We probably need to add separate functions for this, unless we want to check and use the same. So let's just create a few functions. We need to add environments, right? environmental data. Sounds like I'm doing some sort of green movement thing. Add items. You know, add environment, add items. Here's the thing: am I going adding them or I'm going to be setting them? I'm not sure yet. Let's just leave this way for now and see. I should probably rename this from chunk to chunk piece. Yeah, there are a lot more people on YouTube. No, I agree. However, I did not start my YouTube channel by streaming, and the vast majority on, for example, subscribe on YouTube have joined because they have found a video they like. Or maybe they dislike a video so much they want to make sure they can dislike all my videos in the future and therefore subscribe. That's also a possibility. Yeah, but that's neither here nor there, I guess. Let's rename this script. Chunk. And the same with the chunk piece. I'm regretting the choice of name. I want it to be chunk. There we go. Let's hope it's correct now. Yeah, it seems to be good. Okay, so we have now a way to get the position. Instead, however, on the server, you're not going to get the player, it's going to be the camera position. So we can just do this here. And that should be fine. So we are going to calculate the camera's global position. Ah, yes, the background map doesn't exist yet, so let's add that one as well. It will be a tile map. And this is where we're going to be drawing our backgrounds from. What am I doing today? I'm working on the chunk loader. I should... yeah, let's see. We are going to be setting up multiple biomes. If we get that far, I should probably reverse the order. And optimize chunk generation. That's our plan for today. So it's a little less boring than normal. I would prefer to add, well, you know, games stuff. Like player inventory, you know, building with blocks, terraforming ray tool. Now what that's going to do is going to allow you to wield a little technical gun that allows you to dig the dirt and the grass and the mountain and everything. And building a block is just our way of, you know, well, building with blocks, I guess. You know, making walls, making doors, whatever. So this will be the fundamental implementation we are going to be using, because I need to add pretty much everything on a low level, like sort of a prototype of everything. Because all of this is something we will have and use and improve later on. But early, I need to focus a little more on making sure the fundamentals of the game is proper and works well. Because if it doesn't, well, we're gonna have problems later on. That's why I'm taking my time on this. And that's why I also spend some time outside of stream whenever I have opportunity and energy and willpower to do so. So we have a tile map now. Let's name this to the background tile map, I guess. Background. Let's create a variable for our background, just so I can change this later if I decide I have to. And let's do the same in the camera as well. Let's try to make, you know, make it a little proper. I've been prototyping way too much. Get node, really? You don't, oh yeah, of course. On ready. That should solve it. So if you get an error telling you that you cannot find that node, you should use get node, just add on ready, and then you can able to, you know, use this one. So now we can hopefully use camera here and the background. Next up, it asks for World Dictionary chunk size. Now that's just the way I chose to do it in the other project, the local chunk, because then I could add everything in one object and access the data without having methods that takes in 8 separate parameters. Hello, Glenn from Discord. How much time it's gonna take to finish my project? Oh my god. Well, let's do some scrum poker. How much time? Probably, you know, 100,000, little less than 100,000 hours is what I would guess, if I were to guess. But if I were to be more realistic, I think I will have a ready prototype in about, well, probably, well, you know, maybe 1 year. I think I'll have a good prototype in 1 year. And I say prototype just to defend my bad code a little bit, to be honest. But yeah, I think we'll have something in about a year. And even so, I think we'll have something playable within maybe, I don't know, 2 months maybe? I hope that within 2 months I'll have something, you know, you can try. And you know, tell me about how much it sucks and how much you want to improve on this thing and that thing, you know? Yeah, that's why I estimate over 100,000 hours. Well, no, a little less than 100,000 hours. That's what I would estimate. And that's something I say, like, if someone asks me for a deadline or something, I'm not gonna give them a deadline. All I can give them is, well, estimates. Let's add a variable for chunk size. What's our chunk size? That's... yeah, what is our chunk size? What is a chunk size? The thought was a chunk size was the width and the height of each little square in the TileMap. I'm happy to hear that, Soroy. I will, if you drop by, you know, every other week or so and just keep an eye, you will probably, you know, see something very soon. Chunk size, 32. 32? I don't know, what's the chunk size? What chunk size did I use in the other map? Hold on, let me check. Chunk size 32. A chunk size is depending on the map. The map has cell width and height, which is way too big here. Let's reduce that. One chunk. If I were to write 1 here on this side, this would draw 1 cell of this size. So chunk size is not really chunk size as much as chunk cell size, you know? So number of cells, maybe. Maybe that would be a better name. Number of cells in each chunk. But not just each chunk, it's width and height. Chunk. There's a lot of chunking going on. A lot of chunk going on today. We made a chunky class and yeah. I'm gonna have a chunk counter. Now that would be a good idea. So the chunk... damn it, I cannot say it anymore. The cell size is 32. No, number of cell size. Number of cells. Number of cells. XY. I don't know. With height is 32. That seems to be a good size. Are there any existing naming conventions you would use? Yes, absolutely. Use in this case, use GD script naming convention. Nodes, Pascal case. Scripts, snake case. Variable snake, pretty much everything snake case except the node names and class names. Yeah, and even, oh my god, I did a mistake here. It should be chunk with a small c. And chunk loader should be chunk loader with a small c and underscore and loader. Something I noticed that a lot do, they don't use GD convention, including myself a long time ago. I use snake case everywhere, and that's not the convention. So I'm trying my best to follow the convention. Snake case. Snake case. I think this is snake case. Yeah, snake case. Yeah, that's camel case. Pascal case is when you're upper C and upper L, I think. Isn't it? Yeah. I'm trying to my best to follow the convention. So anyone that follows along, they will not learn very bad habits. I'm saying very, because you will probably learn a few bad habits if you actually do what I'm doing when I'm prototyping. I would not... I try my best to tell you when I'm doing something you shouldn't be doing. Yeah, oh my god. Oof. Tomcat, don't. Yeah, I use both too. I mean, here's Pascal case, here's snake case. I just put them and use them appropriately. Because Godot Engine has a standard, a convention, and I'm trying my best to follow. Even the order of, you know, class name and node name, extension, variable names, export, constant. They have an order. Now, I don't remember that order, to be honest. So I'm kind of going a little cowboy on those. However, if someone tells me or tell me that, for example, const should be always above on ready, then I would, you know, keep that in mind and try to remember that. But honestly, I don't remember right now. If you need number of cells, X, Y. Yes. Now that makes more sense, doesn't it? Or is it? I don't know if this is right. Hold on. Yeah, cells per chunk. Cells per chunk. X, Y. Oh. You know, no, if I do this, it'll be correct. There we go. Comma 32. See? Cells per chunk. Now it's correct. A Sims like game. That's a good. Well. I have really difficulties explaining the game. Okay, let me explain the order I'm going to make things in instead of explaining what I'm going to be making in the end. We are going to start out with the fundamentals, setting up networking, set up multiplayer, making sure players communicate with the server only and not each other, and that's to make sure it's difficult to cheat. We need to add player predictions so other players doesn't lag 1 second behind, you know. And when all of that is in place, when we have the fundamental in place in our game, we are going to be moving on towards crafting. We're going to be moving on towards inventory management. We are going to be moving on towards creating items for a game that you will, you know, pick up or create. Now, no items will be found in the game. The players are the one that creates the game. You, the players, are the one that builds the town, or the city, or the village, whatever you want to name this. Hello, you? Guillaume Le Formal? I'm sorry. Guillaume Le Formal, welcome. What was I saying? Yes, crafting, building, fundamentals. That's what we're starting with. Once we have that in place, next step is then to add the buildings, the entities you will be creating. The first and most important building entity, or whatever we're gonna call this. I'm not entirely sure what we're gonna call this. Maybe we'll call it some sort of I don't know, whatever you're gonna call this building for now, will be the town hall. And that town hall is not easy to make. It's gonna take a lot of resources. And if you're alone, you're gonna waste many hours if you're gonna build that town hall by yourself. And that's fine. There shouldn't be anything wrong with that. And it shouldn't feel like it's punishing either. It shouldn't be like you start the game and that's the first thing you're thinking about, I should make a town hall. Now, if you know about it, sure, that's cool. You know what you can do in the future. In the beginning, you need to do the survival part, you know, as you would in any other game. And once that is done, that's when the game I had envisioned starts to take shape. Once that happens, you will get a town. I guess you can call it a town charter or something like that. Time charter? Town charter. Basically, you will get access to certain town abilities, you can say. When you are elected, and you have to be elected, every town will have an election system. And I may or may not add the functionality to add dictatorship. I don't know yet, but the initial idea is going to be an election. Because it's, after all, a role-playing game. It's supposed to be, at least. And once that is taking place, and you volunteer as mayor, or whatever, the town owner, or the emperor, or whatever you're gonna call it, you can start making decisions. And those decisions will be, set tax rate. If you have other players that join your village, and that's something you have to actively do, you can visit all other villages and choose to join or not. If you do join an existing town, you will be privy to certain benefits, such as buying land on that town, such as setting up your own shop in that town, such as, getting a job in that town. That can be anything from being a mayor, being a cop, being a fireman, being a mechanic, being a medic, and all the jobs are going to be functioning somewhat similar to the Escapists game. Because it's a job, you're doing a chore when you were on duty from a certain amount of time during the day and whatnot. And this is at least the initial idea, though. How much skill level in coding is required to make a decent game? Yeah, like Soro says, you should be decent, or at least be very brave. Bravery is minimum requirement, to be honest. What's your riddle, G? I hope it's again a short name to G. Guillermo. I can feel it. Well. But once that is in place, it's going to become a role-playing game. You know, you join a game. You don't have to start with the survival stuff. You can jump and just join a neighboring town. But the survival part is a step on the server. It's a step that someone has to take. Cool. You should tell me more about your game, Glenn. Maybe we can share ideas. And it's fun, you know. Depends on what you want. If you use an existing engine and tutorial, you can get some stuff working without much prior knowledge. Yes, definitely. I mean, I'm not gonna say it will be sellable or not, because, I mean, have you seen Steam? Have you seen the games you can find on Steam, how bad they are? You can sell pretty much a stone on Steam, if you market it well. Which is a shame, to be honest, if you have $100 to put up for the game. My god. Okay, coding. 5 minutes coding. Player tile position is no longer relevant. Now this is the camera position. Did I change the name? Yeah, I did. There we go. So this is going to be the X, this is going to be the Y. Ooh, guess what? I can just do this now. We made this even better. Oh, haha, excellent. So this is now creating a vector chunk. So Roy, that's a very good question, and that's what I want to do someday. But I really want a 3D version of the game. My dream game is in 3D, but this is the closest I can do with what resources I have available. I am not... I cannot work on a 3D game by myself. There is no way I can do that, all the things I want to. And ironically, I am way better at 3D modeling than I am at sprite artist thing drawing. God. I just imagine suddenly I'll spend the entire stream just writing this single function while talking. Oh my god. Okay, we have camera position. We then get the chunk position by dividing the camera position with the cells per chunk, which is now a vector 2, which will give us the appropriate, well, cell. So I'm curious about this one. Yeah, this has to be the X and the Y, right? Yeah. There we go. Okay, now this is done. Let's test it out, shall we? Let's make a function process. Let's see if it works, shall we? Oops. One more attempt. Oh boy, what's happening? Yes, my mistake. I have now created a vector 2. It should work like this. It's even better now. By the way, if I miss something in the chat, please just don't be afraid to repost that so I can, you know, get another chance. Ooh, interesting. That is not good. Because we want to make sure we get integers inside the X and the Y positions. So I will have to do this. Can I wrap it in integer afterwards? I mean, I guess I could just, you know, do So now we should get full integers. Yeah, please don't waste your bits on me right now. I'm not gonna say. I mean, I would be happy, of course, but yeah, I would not waste my bits on me. I am not worthy yet. I hope to be worthy someday. There we go. See, now it works. So the lower left corner has now the appropriate position coordinates. I assume. I am moving. It's just difficult to see. Hold on. Okay, that's interesting. Am I not handling this correctly? Yeah, I'm not an affiliate yet, and that's one of the reasons I have to stop at YouTube someday. My motivation to becoming an affiliate is so I can get points, channel points, because that's like a minigame. I like it. So what's wrong with this one? We are not getting the expected coordinates when I go from left, or rather from right to left. I get from 0, 0 immediately to -2. However, in the other example, we do get have a nice dinner, Glenn, or a diner if you know. Thank you for joining. Where's the calendar button? There it is. When I printed this one, we get different values. I'm curious why that is. Chunk no, there it is. No, that's not right. World. Ah, there it is. Yeah, these are correct. When I moved towards left, however, I got -2. I didn't get 0. So from 0, let's try go down here. From 0, 1, I went directly to yeah, this is appropriate. This is correct. From 0 to -1. But here I went from 0 to -2. So that's a little strange. Did I do something different? Quite possibly. Let's get the server up. The server window so we can take a look at what's going on. Because I don't know. Okay, this does not give us the correct values. On the left side we have chunk position vector 2. We set the y to be the y divided by... I see. No, this is right. This is right. Yeah. Chunk position is camera position, player position divided by cells per chunk, which is chunk size in this case. Maybe I'm doing this wrong. Hold on. Let me move to the left and move this one to the right. So when we get the chunk, we get the position. This is fine. This is fine. The chunk position is camera position divided by cells per chunk. That gives us the x divided by x on this and y divided by y on that. And that's the equivalent of this, with the exception of the integer wrapping. But the integer wrapping we do afterwards by wrapping just the x and the y. But is that incorrect though? I guess we can just try to set it directly. Let's try that. Wrap int. Man, I was hoping to avoid that. X and Y, X and Y, X, X, Y, Y. This is curious. I don't understand how I... Wait a moment. Hold on. Let me run this again. Very strange. Okay, I'm going left now. I'm going left. You can't see it, but I'm moving left. There it is. I went from 0 in the x direction to -2 in the x direction instantly. What happens if I go up now? What happens? -2 directly. This is strange. Well, I guess I'll world to map, right? Yeah, world to map. Wait. Yeah, this is the position of the camera. Wait a moment, I'm doing this wrong. I think, hold on, the chunk, this is the global position, not the tile position. Oh, that's... Okay, in that case, let's remove the world to map function and try it again. Could that be it though? Cells per chunk. Well, now this is incorrect. Now they are no longer cells per chunk. They are pixels. So if I want to do this correctly, I have to multiply 32 by 32. Assuming I want 32 cells in 32 times 32 in width and height. Let's see. Moving left. I think. Yes, -2. Okay, same result apparently. My god. I assume I get the same when I go up. Yes, I do. Okay, so why is that? Why is that? So, now this is fine the way I've been doing it so far. What am I doing? I must be blind. Fine, I will do it this way. Var chunk position. New vector. 0, 0. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Why not? Then we're gonna start by setting x. X equals integer wrapping of counter position x divided by cells per chunk x. And then we do the same for y. I don't believe this is the reason it doesn't work, but let's try it anyway. I am from Norway. The little stripe left of Sweden. What the hell? Still not working. What the? I don't understand this. Printing camera position as well? Oh my god. This is very confusing. How do we just jump from 0 to... Once I hit 32, it should go next. There. Norway is a very nice place to live. Not necessarily because of the environment, because of the, you know, the freedom. The freedom not to get sick. At least not in depth while being sick. That's something I appreciate very much. You know, they call it universal healthcare. It's a scary thing in many places of the world. So the camera position, is that was... No, the camera position is correct. Wait a moment. Negative. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. It's negative. What do I do if I, what do I get if I do this? Is it negative now? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh yes, it's negative. But that's not the correct formula. Let's try 32 times 32. Very strange. If I don't get this done today, I'm going to be probably working a bit on this by my own. What I expect to happen is to be already now we should, yeah, look at this. From this to this result into a -1. But for some reason that does not happen. Why is that not happening? The math is not correct. There's no way it's correct. Hold on. I've been programming for probably professionally for 4 years, I think. Unprofessionally, probably 7 or 8 years. Which includes the 4 years. What's the chunk size? It's a float. Does that matter though? Does that matter? Let me try this. Oh, no, that's not right. Hold on, wait, what? Shouldn't matter though. Let me try this. And let's undo this again, because we know it was right the first time with the background world 2 map. Because I want to work with these cells themselves and not bother about pixels, you know? I don't know why it doesn't work. Yeah, look at this. I am negative now. It should be already going -1 here. I'm confused. What is 80? Hold on, what is 80? What is 80? What is 80? What is 80? Hold on. Something is afoot here. Global position. Let chunk, current chunk. I could just do minus equal. No, that's not right. Oh my god. How does it jump to -2? That's the okay, let's do math. Let's do math. -8 divided by 32 minus 0.25. Well, that's correct. But what oh my god. But what I expect here, when we get minus 0 point something, this should trigger and update this. However, that doesn't seem to be the case. When I do get a negative 0.25, this should then trigger the X or the Y, because now it's less than 0. It's less than 0. Less than 0. When this happens, we should, you know, subtract -1 from that. And oh, hold on. Hold on.
Lord knows that I've tried to. You said I was
Hold on.
the only one. No one likes being lied to. You made this mess and left me with the pieces.
This is wrong for us. Because we cannot do this at this place. We have to do it at the end. Let me try removing this and see if this will be correct. So after we've done this, then we wrap them into an integer, which will be a chunk position vector 2, chunk position x, chunk position y, and we wrap both of those in integers because we want whole integers, you know. Give me a second here. So now I expect this to be correct. Welcome back, Glenn. How was your food? It works now. I knew it. I was right all along. But now I think, yeah, now it works. It's perfect now. I go down. Yeah, perfect. Okay, we have the chunk to correct now. I don't know why it didn't work, or rather, I don't know why this works, to be honest. I have no idea why this works. What did you eat? I'm curious. I'm hungry, so I want to talk about food now. Okay, we have the player chunk position. Now we want to load the chunk. Let's remove this. So when we ready, when we start, we want to get the position of our current camera, and then we want to use that in order to draw. We want to load the chunks around the player. using the properties and data we set here. Beans and potatoes. That sounds very, you know, somewhat Norwegian actually, or not Norwegian but Irish. I don't know why, but in Norway everyone eats potatoes all the time. So if you have parents that make food, it's always potatoes for everything. Oh my God. I'm not complaining about the food, it's just the repetition of the food. I have basically outgrown potatoes because I had too much of it when I was young. And now I almost eat no potato. No potato. Loading. Okay, render bounds. And that's the thing I really want here. And but I don't want to name it render bounds. View distance, chunk load, chunk distance. Chunk distance? Chunk distance? Chunk size. Chunks per map. Chunks. You know, for now, let's use the same name. I have to rename this in the future. And the formula for this is render distance times 2.0. I love potatoes too, especially when they're not boiled, but you know, on a pan. Cutting up pieces of potato, the chicken and chili. Chili. Oh God. We should not talk about food. I'm getting hungry. Oh. Chunk distance. What? Chunk bounds. Yes, that's a good name. Thank you for that, Nesi. Full credits goes to Nesi for creating this amazing complex algorithm to computate the chunk bounds. Yeah, where's this here? Render, there we go. And wait, there's one too many here. Should be one there. No wait, this is wrong. It should be like this, yes. And this should be removed. Yes. Chunk bounds, loading coordinate. Well, what is this? Let's understand this before I write more code. Loading coordinates are used to append chunk coordinates. You get chunk key, I don't know what that does, but you store the chunk coordinates in a list of loading coordinates. And then at the end, for each x in active coordinates. Loading coordinates. Hold on. Active coordinates. What is this? X plus 1. Okay, what this does, this is the end. The x end. So if the top left corner of a of our chunk is 0, 0, for example, top left. Imagine a square. Top left being this one. Then this should be calculated in the lower right. So you add 1 to both of them, but then you also do this, which I'm not sure what does, to be honest. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I could be wrong. So how does this work? Render bound chunks. Yeah, we'll try that and see how it works. Loading coordinate, append chunk coordinates. For each active coordinate. Okay, so you have a list inside the loader or the world. You have a list of active coordinates and you have a list of active chunks. Now I assume chunks are the nodes themselves, aren't they? Chunk is a node instance, yes. Okay, so you have chunks and the positions separate. In our case, I'm not going to keep them separate. I'm going to create a dictionary or some sort of object that holds dot chords and dot chunks, you know. So we can pass them along without having multiple lists. What else? it seems pretty straightforward. This is just the part I need to understand. I don't understand the math. Render bounds. Okay, this will be 3, for example. 3 divided by 2 for some reason. Then you get half. So that would be 1.5. Then you increment the current chunk x. So the player position. The chunk the player is in. Yeah, this is the part I cannot compute. What does chunk key do? Get chunk key. This converts the chunk coordinate into its key. This converts the chunk's coordinates to its key. This is for the circumnavigation thing? What? Hold on. Revolution distance. Where's that set? 8. Hold on. Wait. You're wrapping it so it doesn't get lower or higher than this. So X is wrapped. So it's between this. But why? Why do you need to wrap this though? Chunk key is then appended in a chunk start. What? Okay, so chunk start is the instance, right? Yeah. In the start you set in the chunks, you save data, and that's fine, you know. Nothing wrong with that. That's what we want to do at least. Let's try. Let's just try and see what happens. And hopefully we'll understand while we work on this. But the loading course is a temporary thing. So if loading coords, if you can, for each active coordinates, if you're loading this coordinate, or rather if you don't find it, then you add it to a new list of deleting chunks. And then for each deleting, okay, this is the deleting handling, the deleting. Okay. What's X though? Active coordinates. So where do you save the active coordinates? If active coordinates if you cannot find this in the active coordinates, you then create that. Okay. So if you do find that, do you skip it then? You don't do anything, right? Chunk coordinates. Okay, if you don't find it in here, you skip it and you check. What? Here, yeah, your loading coordinates. You check here and delete them if they're no longer going to be appended. It's so easy. Like, this is so small compared to my long solution, but yet it's a bit more abstract, I guess. The chunk key is the key the chunk will use to retrieve data from the world saved. It depends on the number of revolutions and the chunk coordinates. Now what this means I cannot know. Are we talking about iterations in the in this or revolutions? Okay, you get a chunk key. Where is this used? You send it in. It's just a position though. It's just a position. Chunk coordinates. Hold on. Are you telling me you are using two different names for the same thing? You're getting the chunk position here. Hello, Fisken. My God. Nice of you to drop by. How was your stream? I'm just trying to big brain this so I can understand how the chunk loading works. But no, it's not so much success. I mean, I can write this easily, but I need to understand this. I don't want to write code and copy code. That's the worst thing you can do. technical errors with the the GIFs and whatnot. OBS. Oh my god. Do you have many plugins? Windows Manager and GPU. Oh my god. Have you tried to restart the computer? Because sometimes that works for some reason. Okay, this confuses me. We are calculating the chunk coordinates here. But this is also a chunk coordinate. Or rather, it's treated as a chunk coordinate. We tried? My god. Maybe you have a service that's running amok in your computer somewhere. You should check open services and list by added or something like that. Hold on. I don't know. Let's see. How was it? Customize? There should be a way to view events, I guess. Maybe events. Let's see. I don't know, but you can open up an event viewer and maybe you can find something under application. Maybe you have something that's breaking something. Just sort them by date, I guess. I don't know. It's kind of difficult to search for errors. Yes, hello, little robot games. This is a Godot server and a client, which we're working on right now. Right now I'm working on chunk loading, because we have a functional chunk loader, but it's not good enough. It's not efficient, it's very inefficient. If I load our amazing working chunk scene, we are currently loading all the data in one list when we send it to the player on the client side. And what I instead want to do is, instead of sending a list of all the trees you can see here, and stones and sticks, we want to send in the chunks and the data that's inside each one of the chunks. And that way, when we delete things and make changes, we don't have to send in all the data. I just send in the specific chunk with the position of the chunk and the contents of that chunk. So we can just send this instead of the list of everything. So the player won't have to filter by itself and do the manual labor. Instead, we do it on the server side. And that's why we're doing the boring stuff right now. I mean, you could try to, by the way, Fiskin, you could try to uninstall OBS and reinstall it after taking backup, because you probably have custom OBS set up and whatnot, plugins possibly, as a last resort. Let's try this. Let's just copy paste a little bit and see if we can't fix this to work for ourselves. Chunks loaded. And for each X in the range of render bounds. Chunk bounds. Desktop capture, really? That's very strange. Maybe you messed up the scene somehow. Have you tried creating a new scene on OBS? Because maybe you have some, well, screwed up scenes, browsers or something like that. Very strange. Bounce. For each X and Y. You do this. What is this? What is this? What is this? Let me print this. Let me find out what this is. Usually by printing it, you know, it helps us to. It helps us. I'm speaking like I'm speaking myself in third person, like Gollum. Oops. It helps us to figure this out. Or Royal We. X, Y. Good luck with that this game. Hopefully everything, you know, works afterwards. Otherwise there may be a hardware problem if you have GPU issues. If it's related to your GPU. Let's see, what's chunk? Current chunk. Current chunk. That's not current chunk. We used a different name, didn't we? We used chunk position, didn't we? Yeah. We're setting current chunk here. So this is this. Let me send in chunk position inside here. Well, I guess I should say current chunk position. That's what it is, you know.
What does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing?
And in case you're wondering, even though why I'm renaming certain variables, even though I'm copying this over, is because this helps me understand this more than what it was. It's not that I'm trying to rewrite it to be, you know, make it less obvious I copied it or something. I'm just mentioning it because I just thought of it just now. Because yeah, I'm pretty open about when I copy code and try to learn from this. I mean, I'm streaming this for God's sake. Not like I can say afterward, no, I wrote this myself. Let's print this and see if it works. X and Y. So when I hit ready, it's gonna load immediately. What do we get? Tell me. This is the wrong scene. Closing that one, loading this one. Oh my god, okay. So we're getting -1. Okay, what? Let me add a comma between those, because it's a bit difficult to read. You know what, you just do this. Go, that should make it easier. There we go. Now we have... I regret that. Hold on, let me... One last time, I promise, this is the last time.
I feel the rain crashing down all around this empty town. I'm searching for the lost and found.
Okay, now it's readable. There we go. Okay, so we start -1. Okay, I see what this does. This it calculates the direction from the center. So this is the top left corner. This is the left corner. This is the bottom left corner, and so on. It goes around. And then this goes down. This is center. No, wait. Center. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, it is center. Cool. So this is a pretty badass math equation to do all of that. Holy crap. I mean, let's compare with what I wrote before. Oh my god. That's not what I wrote. Hold on. It's here. Chunk GD. I mean, look at this. This is what I wrote. This is my way of handling this. Did you catch that? All this is is this pretty much. Well, and this. I mean, it works fine. I have no problem with the way I wrote it. It's just, you know, not smart, not smartly enough, you know. I mean, just the calculating of the direction is done here. I do a player chunk minus previous chunk in order to get the direction you moved. And I guess this is not a bad way of doing it either when I think about it. Now this here is the equivalent of the... well, I mean, I guess not. It's not the direction we are calculating in the chunk loader. In the chunk loader, we're just calculating everything around us. In my code, I calculate the direction, and then from that direction, I determine what to load and what to unload. So when we go downwards, well, we're gonna be loading the bottom 3 chunks, and it works fine. I have no problems with this. However, it is not very maintainable, and it's not very friendly when I'm trying to send data to the players. And that's one of the reasons we are doing this over again. Let's see, send chunk coordinate and data belonging to each chunk to player. That's something we have to do. Use chunk coordinates. Only use chunk coordinates sent from the server to deload chunk client side. Yes, this is the advantage we'll get, as well as to support variable chunk sizes, which is very nice, which I like. And that's the, you know, the width of the, well, actually 4 times 4 doesn't exist. 5 times 5. And all credits goes to Nesi, by the way. Check him out if you can. He has a great, well, tutorial / introduction to this. You can find the source code as well here. Can I share this? Well, let me share this. Hopefully it works. I don't know, I have trouble with the restream sometimes. It will not post on Twitch, unfortunately. And that is not good. So I will be replacing restream at some point. And use, I don't know, something else. Where's the... My god. Okay, going back to what we were doing. Let's replace the horrible old school hard-coded solution, which works fine, with a more modern and sleek loader. Where is the other project though? There it is. Okay. So in the process, this is also a bad... I mean, it's not bad, but it's a lot of work for nothing. I made a timer for this. We're gonna be making sure we only do this every 1 second or half a second or something like that, so we don't run it so incredibly often, because the player's not gonna move that fast ever. Also, this is gonna cause a huge issue if the player, assuming we're on a client and we have a multiplayer server running, and this is run there, if the player goes balancing in the middle between the chunks, which will force a new load every time, you know. I need a name for the game, by the way. I have not figured out a name yet. So if anyone has suggestions, please let me know. It's not easy to find a name for this. This role-playing, top-down 2D action, crafting, survival, town management, economics, theme, city, world. I don't know. Okay, so what this does is this provides us with the area around us. How can we write this so it's understandable, so I don't have to figure out what this does? This loops around, including the middle, not just around. It loads all chunks around the center player. Included the center. I would like a good function name for that. For now, this comment will suffice. Okay, so when that is done, what else have you been doing? Zombie MMO. Now that would be a cool Halloween event, wouldn't it? Zombie MMO? You know, that's a good point. I don't know of any single zombie MMOs. Can you think of some? I mean, I know of zombie games which are kind of open world, like Rust. Well, Rust is not... Well, did they remove zombies from Rust? I think they removed zombies from Rust. But there is the... what's the name of the game? DayZ, I think. DayZ? Is that right? It's not really an MMO, it's more like a, you know, multiplayer game. But in theory, this could be an MMO. if I really wanted this to, and monopolize the server. Well, I don't know. We'll see what this goes. The idea is this will be run by you guys. You know, you will have your own server. You can set up your own rules. You know, you rule the land. Dead Frontier. Interesting. Sounds familiar. Cool. A zombie survival game. Free to play. Oh, how are they monetizing this? Wait, have I seen this? No. Yes, I saw this. This was mentioned to me by someone last time. Who was that? I have been looking at this. I could not find the 2D version. Is this a 2D version? Hold on. Maybe it's not the same game I'm looking at. It looks very familiar though. But yeah, that's cool. I would not mind making a 3D game of this. But initially it's going to be a 2D game. We'll see what we do afterwards. And that will allow some more creative freedoms. So if I someday are able to do this full time, who knows, maybe I'll jump to a 3D and get help. So this here, we get a chunky. What does this do? What is chunky? Can I try this and see what we get from this? What is this? Chunky. Chunky. Ah, get it? That's funny. For $500. Holy sh... Seriously? My god. So it's pay to win. Is that what you're telling me now? Sexy horror games. No, well... I don't think I'll be making any of those anytime soon, but... $500. Holy crap, my god. No, I'm very against any pay-to-win games. The best pay-to-win game I've ever played was Stronghold Kingdoms. That was a really enjoyable. The only and single downside was that it was pay-to-win. You're literally paying to win. You're paying money to buy soldiers. You're paying money for gold in the game. You're paying money to speed up production. It's idiotic. You know? Yeah, but it is pay. Okay, if I can pay someone and that increases my advantage somehow, then it's pay to win. The only thing I can imagine that are kind of borderline good and bad is like experience gainers, what do you even call it? 2 times experience for a day or whatever. It's kind of like you know, because you don't immediately get any advantage. You still have to level. However, you're leveling faster. You know? I don't know. But even that I don't like. But I'm saying that those are the closest I can think of that are kinda okay, but not really, you know? Yes, I agree. It's horrible design. It's the worst thing in the world. It infuriates me. So what is this? What is this? Chunk cords. Chunk cords. Okay, let's try it. Chunk cords. So why am I wrapping X though? It's so confusing. And what is this? Let's remove this. What does this do? Print. course. Chunky. Yes, no, absolutely. I agree. If I were to have run this as an MMO, it would not be any pay to win either way. First, I will have to, of course, do the economy and everything and make sure I can afford it and have, you know, live on donations slash cosmetics and stuff like that. You know, and it can be even, you know, maybe add player slots or something like that. Like you can create X amount of characters before you have to upgrade to a, you know, subscription or something. I don't know. But it's very important that you are very upfront about it. It shouldn't be a surprise, you know. Six. Evolution distance. What was that? That was 8, I think. I think it's 8. So what do we get from this? But yeah, I'm not. My plan is not to make an MMO. That's not the plan. What is this? I don't understand this. Okay, let's read the description one more time. The description is this. The chunk key is the key the chunk will use to retrieve data from the world save. It depends on the number of evolution. Okay, this is the part I don't understand. This is this was the only comment, I would understand this perfectly. It's just a key that you then generate from the coordinates. Except I don't get it. How can this be a key? You're gonna have... You add it. Yeah, you add the key, right? And this is the coordinate. Somehow. And then you save the coordinates, chunk data as well. Yeah, pay to win sucks. I'm pretty sure most players and gamers can agree on that. And the worst part is companies and, well, stronghold kingdoms, they don't care because because the game is so good, they can get away with it because it's really a great game, even though I know they're pay to win. And because they can get away with that, there are those few people, the 1% of the people that can pay so much money that it covers all their costs. Like they're paying so much more than all the rest. They're called whales, I believe, in the pay to win term or something. The whales are the one that's spending so much money that it's worth it to have pay to win, even though it sucks and no one likes it. But that 1% that keeps buying and buying and buying, those are the one that fuels it, the economy of pay to win games. And it's especially bad with mobile games. Yeah, no, my god. The bottle cap is a expansion bag. Yeah, Apple, while the products are great, I'm not saying anything about the products themselves and the product being the quality and whatnot. Their system is horrible. It's not user friendly. I mean, not user friendly. It's not user friendly. What's the other word? Like customer friendly. Customer friendly. It's not. They do it dirty, you know. Like they're locking everything. You cannot do any changes, and if you do it, you know, you lose all your rights, or you know. A Leviathan. Oh my god. Mobile games. Oh my god. Just Call of Duty, if I remember correctly, per day earns like millions every single day on microtransactions on mobile. Mobile is getting so much huger than before that it's personally I don't use mobile games. I think mobile games suck. It's not fun. I mean, it's like 1% of fun you would have on a computer playing the same game. You know, I understand the convenience and I understand that everyone has a mobile, so therefore everyone can play a game. So when you are, you know, young and you're at school, guess what? You have a computer and you can just play games. But holy shit, 24! Oh my god. I still cannot understand it. I don't understand this key thing. I don't understand it. This converts the chunk chords to its key. And what does this mean? Is this a word? I mean, I don't understand it. I don't understand it. What does this mean? Circumnavigation? It's a typo. Interesting. Let's print both. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Can we see any patterns here? Are we able to recognize patterns from this? Let's open up Krita. Where's my drawing tablet? Let's see if we can't write little notes. Okay. So I have a little drawing thing on the right. Let's see. We are starting -1, 0. Let's draw the squares first, because we know we have some sort of squares somewhere. And let's note down what we can find. Okay, -1, 0. What is that? X -1, 0. So here. Then you have what? Wait, what's that happening? Why is this running? Oh, this is the camp. Sorry, my bad, my bad. Wait, why is -2 here? Hold on. This is the wait. I'm not printing it, am I? Cutscenes. I agree with cutscenes. Unless it's a story role-playing game, I guess. And even then, it should be used appropriately. Witcher 3 is the best example of cutscenes I can think about. In fact, it's the best example I can think of any quests. Like any way of doing quests. Witcher 3 has it nailed down. Because it's always story-based. There's no kill 10 wolves and fetch me their heirs or something, I don't know. Hello Poi360, welcome to the stream on YouTube. And don't forget, we are also streaming on Twitch. And in the future, it's all gonna be on Twitch. However, you can find records of our previous stream on YouTube as well. Now we're trying to do some math. Math, not meth, math with the A. I'm trying to figure out what this is all about. Didn't I print this? I thought I did print this. Chords. And this is the key, whatever that means. Okay. It looks pretty much the same, right? They're the same. Oh my god, you that's gonna take a while. It's gonna take a while. But look at the bright side, you can skip ahead. In the earlier stream, we didn't do as much as didn't do much practical. We were just researching, figuring out how the Godot multiplayer worked. Because I had to learn all of this, or rather relearn this, because it's been so long. I don't understand this. You know what? Maybe I don't need to understand this. Maybe I can just forget about it. I agree with you, Soroy. My god, Half-Life. I remember how amazing it was with all the mods and all the things. The era of Call of Counter-Strike, Half-Life, and more probably that I can't remember. Yeah, there was not like interruption. It's just you're just talking, you know, talking scientist. Let's forget the chunky. Let's screw the chunky. Go. Let's do this. Let's just append it. We now have the coordinates. And with those coordinates, we're gonna save them. Because these are the coordinates we want to load. So this is gonna be chunks to load, I guess. Is a good name, maybe? Is that a good name? Yeah, that's a good name. Chunks to load. No, chunks loaded. Because we may or may not load that, so that's not guaranteed. Half-Life mod videos, oh my god. In those times, I was not very active on YouTube. Didn't YouTube even exist then? I don't know. I think the earliest videos I can remember are the likes of Smosh and... Yeah, Smosh I guess was the only one I remember when I was little. So we have appended this, right? It's appended. Let's append the new and amazing chunk coordinates. Having done that, yeah, there's some steps missing. We're not loading them yet. These are just the positioning and all that. So from this, I need to be able to... Ah, here it is. This is the part I need to create. Okay, that's right. Active coordinates. Okay, what is active coordinates? Active coordinates are coordinates that the player has loaded. Active coordinates. If you don't find it, you create it. Ooh, that's a good idea. Active coordinates. What this will allow us to do as the server is to keep those in memory and reuse the same coordinates if there are more players in the same area. And that way will save us a lot of effort. Active chunks. Why the coordinates though? I don't like... I guess coordinates is fine. Also, I should stop using the shortened name. Coordinates. Hold on. Chunk position. Right? Yeah, why am I using coordinates? Oh my god. Active chunk positions. I'm trying to stop myself from using shortened variable names. It serves no purpose. The good old YouTube. Didn't have to worry about getting demonetized. You could actually speak out what you are thinking, not having to worry about insulting, you know, people and their feelings. For better and worse, of course. Although if I did have to choose, I would prefer the freedom to insult over the censorship of insults, if that makes sense. Let's see, any plans to make... Yes! Yes! Many plans to make Godot tutorials. After the 2-week sprint is over, which is in about maybe 3 or 4 days. I'm not sure, actually. I have to check it out. That will be when we reach video number 28. Then I'm gonna take a few days break and go over our project, which we have so far, and see if we can't make some useful information and tutorials from that. The first sprint, I was planning to do the same, but I realized I didn't have enough material to make a useful or good tutorial. And I'm hoping that I can use what I learn from this to make a few videos before continuing. Okay, active, chunk positions. Fine, that's cool, you have fine. Okay, let's find this position. Yeah, if this is -1, this is going to turn nothing. Then you want to create this. No, not create. We're gonna, well, create and load a new chunk into our own memory, which contains all the information, systems, entities, and all the things. So if you have any suggestion of what tutorials you would like to see, by all means, let me know. It will be relevant to what I'm doing. That's all I know. That can be everything from setting up a server, to setting up a client, to chunk generations, from biome generation. Well, if I get that far. I'm not sure if I get that far. And frankly, I cannot even guarantee that I have enough to make a tutorial that I would be proud to make yet with what we have so far. And that's why I'm gonna take a day or two to review. If I have something I can make a tutorial, I can probably spew out a tutorial quite quickly, so we can continue our next 2-week sprint.
I've been flying from town to town, from London to Taiwan. I've been all around the globe trying to protect your soul.
Do I have to preload this though? The instance we create. Constant? Yeah, preload, that's what I thought. Reload. Interesting, you can make constant. I don't need constant, do I? No, not constant. Yeah, no constant. Not the constant. Okay, so we create a new instance of chunky. And what is chunky? What is chunky? Chunky? What? Chunky? No, not chunky. My god, chunk. We're gonna create a new instance of chunk. So we need to figure out what we need to send into this. We could create a constructor for this and send data immediately, but I don't know if that's what we want. Looking at this example, we set the position being the chunk coordinate times chunk size. And that makes sense. Yeah, I would say yes, but no at the same time. It's gonna be more fantasy than GTA. It's not gonna be a fantasy game, by all means, but it's going to be more technically sci-fi. It's a better way to explain it. For example, in this game, once it's built and we have, you know, most of it in place, we're gonna create a what did we name it? Hold on, I wrote it down. A magic machine, which is a furniture, until we get a better name. What this is going to do is, every server can only have one magic machine. Whoever creates that and activates that will siphons energy from a parallel universe into our own. And the effect of that is everyone will suddenly get access to mana and magic. So this is a scientific device that sucks energy from a parallel universe somewhere, some crazy universe. So when this is activated, all players on the server get access to mana and magic stats, with the constraint that there can only be one. And the role-playing value is very high by having this expansion pack, whatever. I don't know what I want to name this, but this feature. And to prevent players from abusing it, because if a player just somehow manages to get all the resources by himself or herself to make this and hide it, you will still be able to find this, because you will have another device you can create, that anyone can create, in order to find the parallel universe detector. So there's a lot of plans, but this is so far out. But this is my point, is it's not going to be GTA. It's going to be inspired by GTA in many ways. We are going to be having vehicles. We're going to have driving. We're going to have roads that you can create and set up. It's going to be essentially a town, modern town, you know. But we're starting with the Stone Age. We're starting out with having to create an axe from a stone and a wood, and chop trees, and build your little house, survive. I would love to have that kind of graphics, but I'm not able to make that kind of graphics. I mean, look at this. I can find examples. Oh my god. These are mostly placeholder graphics. The reason I did this is just so I can work on this without having to worry too much about graphics. At some point, I'll probably get some freelancers to help me, or people that want to help, and I'll pay them for what they make if I like it, you know. So for now, it's pretty much just square. It's just simple as possible. Make it easy. Like, this is a stick, this is a stone, you know. And I mean, I don't mind this style, but the style is going to be top down. It's not going to be like perspective, like it would be in the older Final Fantasy game, where you can see the side sprite, you know. I'm not going to be using any 3D models as far as I have planned, unfortunately. Maybe someday we'll mix it. I mean, there's nothing that prevents us from adding 3D models even in this 2D world. But there's no plan for it yet. Let's see. What's it doing? Chunky loading. The instances, we need to check the position, which is going to be the chunk coordinates times chunk size. Yes. Times chunk size. But it's not chunk size. We named it, what was it? Cells per chunk? What's chunk size here? What's this use? Hold on. Yeah, cells per chunk. I think this is right. I'm pretty sure it's right. I'm pretty sure. Hold on, it's not cells per chunk. It's pixels per chunk. Ugh. I'll rename this later. Okay. The reason, by the way, I have not planned for any 3D models is because it would take so much more effort for me to get something to prototype this, to show that this is going to be an amazing game. And imagine if I had resources, how more amazing it can get, you know. This is pretty much my dream game. This is the game I wish existed that doesn't exist. It comprises of many different games, of course. I mean, many games which are focused on one thing does that one thing really well. Like GTA is amazing for just you know, going free world, doing whatever you want, you know, drive, you know, buy clothes, you know, whatever you want, you know. You're getting into the characters, you know. Another example which I just recently played was Slime Rancher, which is really addicting. It's surprisingly addicting. I don't know why. I'm trying to analyze it while I'm playing. Why am I still playing this? Like 2 hours in, 3 hours in. Why am I playing this? I think it has something to do with being able to get infinite money if you have time. So I just get slimes into a ranch, I feed them. by growing plants, and then they poop out money, and I put the money in, and I get money from a auction house, or something like that. Auction house, the poop market, stock market. And there's something about that gameplay loop that is so addicting, you know. So once you have set the position, you add the chunk to active chunks, and you add the position to active positions. But I don't want that kind of array. What I want is I guess a dictionary is what I want, isn't it? Yeah, I want a dictionary. I want chunk dictionary. I think. Do I want that though? Hold on. Yeah, I think I want that. And in this chunk dictionary, well, do I want that? Yeah, in the chunk dictionary we're gonna have the list. They're gonna be listed in this one. Can I write this here? Chunk. Maybe I should name this node. It's a node. It's gonna be a list, and then we have the position, which is also a list. So when I set these values, we should be able to store them like this. Hold on. Did you store the position? Yeah, it's not null position you're adding. It's not this one. It's the tile position, which is the not position. I guess I should add this to be a chunk. Well, this is a chunk position. Never mind. Chunk dictionary. And the reason I do a dictionary is so I can send this to the client. We may have to revisit this. And then you instantiate it and then add it to the scene. Okay, that's fine. Let's do a test. I'm gonna add the chunk. I'm gonna create a texture or something on this so I can see it. Will you allow code the contributions eventually? I'm interested in helping out with the project. I can also do 2D art and 3D. Oh really? I would appreciate that. At some point I may open up for contributions. Right now I think it's a bit too early because we still haven't got much, you know. But I would definitely appreciate that, and that's definitely something I would be interested in a bit later. Not just now, because we still have to make the fundamentals, you know. But yeah, that would be cool. And music, what the hell? What can't you do? To be honest, I still haven't figured out the design of the game, like how it's going to be when it's ready, or when it, you know, you have to decide on the style sometime. Decide on it, I mean. But for now, it's really simplistic. I'm trying to think what to do here because I want to do some tests, right? How about an ish? Okay, what happens in start method? Yes, that's a good thing to be, by the way. It's not a bad thing at all. It's idiotic that people... I mean, before, being a master of all trades was a bad thing. Now, in the modern era, it's a good thing. Because in the olden times, in the industrial age, factories were made. In those factories, roles and specific jobs are made. Like one person stands in the line and do that thing, and that's all that person does. So that person is a master of that alone. However, today we have modernization. We have teams that share skill over other areas. For example, in development, which is what I'm talking about pretty much, we all have our specialty. So mine will be dev, but there's also server. There is I don't know, Windows or something, and Linux. And as a dev, I would then circle around it. So I know this best, but I have a little pieces of knowledge from this, this, and this, which allows me to work with others in a team. Let's say I'm working with a Linux expert, which has this as a center. His expertise may be something like this. You know, mostly Linux, but also a little dev, a little that, and this and that, you know. And that allows us to work so much better together, because I understand what he does. When he's talking about something, I have a good idea what he's talking about. And the same when, I talk. He understands what I'm talking about when I'm talking about variables and functions and object-oriented programming. And this watering out knowledge is way more important now than ever because of this. Because you don't want to work in a team that, let's say you all have a team with only developers. Like all of the, I cannot write, hold on, why am I not using the pen? Imagine working with a team with only developers. Sorry for turning this into a lesson or class or whatever. You have 3 devs, and they work in their own team. They're doing their own stuff. They're working exclusively backend. As an example. Now, of course, on the organization level, there is more around this. There is a lot more around this. There is, we have a front-end team. We have, leaders, whatever. They have their own little groups or little guilds, whatever you want to call this, So every time backend then needs something, let's say backend need the API from architects or whatever, API description from the front end. Now they have to wait. They cannot do anything until this does whatever it has to do. And even now, we still haven't got this right. We now have teams with a dev, we have a front end guy, or gal. So dev front, we have a project leader, probably a tester, in the same team, and that increases their area of skill so much. So the front end circle has little knowledge of dev, little test, and so on. And the project leader should hopefully have a little knowledge of development, front end, and testing, and all that. Unfortunately, often it's like this. Because we have education that is specifically for this, like this role, just learning about the methodologies and the strategies as being a leader, learning about writing Excel sheets, learning about calculating the team efficiency, all that. That's its own class. You don't learn about development in the class of learning to be a product leader, which is really, really bad. Which is why developers, front end, and even testers can become great leaders after years of experience if they move on to becoming a project leader, because then they have the circle suddenly of knowledge. Unfortunately, it's very also dependent on personalities. Not every developer would ever imagine themselves becoming a project leader, because that's a lot of responsibility and it's a different field entirely, to be honest. But for team synergy, that's amazing. If you can get any of these to become a product leader, that's amazing for team synergy. However, even this is not good enough. Today, this is what we have. But we have more people. We have network admins, or whatever you want to call them. Let's call them sysadmin. They are the one that can take care of the operating system of the servers and maintaining the servers and setting up the continuous integration and development, and so on and so on. And sometimes you have developers that do that also with Jenkins and other backend tools. You have developers that is able to work with Jenkins, set up a continuous integration. Very rarely do I see deployment as part of that, unfortunately, because you don't want anyone in this team to touch the production, because that's that you need more safety. You need 3 other teams on top of this. So they can confirm that whatever this team does is right, and that is continuous integration and deployment. It's a road stop here, and we still have those problems with trust and team self-sufficiency. That's even a word. What I want, if I get my will creating the perfect team, I want the team to own the deployment part as well, the server. So if a team needs to set up a SQL, database or whatever, the team can do all that. It doesn't need to call the sysadmins on in the next country or whatever. It's all in a team. However, now some may say that the network administrator or sysadmin or whatever you want to call it, has been specialized in the team, wouldn't always have jobs. It'll be time where he doesn't have much to do, and he may want to work with other sysadmins or whatever, and that's true. That will happen. But guess what? We have a remote. If this person does truly not have anything to do in the team, that's a good thing. He can communicate with the others maintaining the server, so they can do their own thing. He has his own what can I say, guild. They're still working. He can do whatever. But however, if suddenly now the backend dev needs a new table on this database or whatever, we need to do changes to some sort of API, open a port or whatever. Guess what? This team will just go directly to this guy. Hey, can you open this port? And it happens within minutes. Because whatever they're doing, planning and whatever, that's less important. The most important part is every product, every team. Why am I talking about this? This is not why I made the stream. My god. Okay, enough ranting. But you know what I mean. I'm not pleased with the way we do the teams today. I want the sysadmin, the backend, the network operators, at least one of them, to be in our team. And that's his or her first priority. Second priority is, of course, doing the normal job they would do. Okay. But yeah, but this is what we have now. Dev, front-end, project leader, and tester, usually. But even better teams have a Scrum Master, and not a project leader, just a Scrum Master. And a Scrum Master is... Why am I talking about this? I'm sorry. I don't mean to rant about this. I have many opinions about this subject of organizing teams and how to efficiently run them, I guess. Or make sure they have what they need. Okay, back to coding. If you unmuted me now, now you see me, I'm waving, so you can turn on audio again. So what were we doing before I started my long rant? Yes, I want to visualize on the server side when we instantiate the chunk. I want to draw something. Let's do it rectangle for now. You know what? Maybe not rectangle. Yeah, rectangle. Yeah, that's good. That's the skill you want. You want someone that can do a little of everything. With something you're best in. Like you join as a front-end developer, but you can also help with the backend if we need be. So if you don't have to wait for a backend developer to be available to add this change a API or something, you can just do it yourself. And that way, if someone gets sick, someone can always cover for each other. No one should attain the sole competence, the sole knowledge of a repository or whatever. What was I doing? Funk inish. Okay, let's just draw something. Start position. I don't know. No, not start position. Start position and size. Color effect. Set position. Start position. How do I set the size of a color rectangle? Rectangle size. Okay. Let's see if I can't. There we go. Yay. Okay, and this would be a vector. Oh my god! What happened? Oh my god, thank you for following Oxbear K. I appreciate that. Hopefully you arrived after my rant, so you didn't have to be discouraged by my rants. Rectangle size, vector 2. There we go. So we have now rectangle. So when we create this, we're gonna send in start position where we want it to be and the size. And I'm just gonna pretty much code it in directly and see if it. Ah, crap! I can't use Inish. Chunk Inish. I created myself. Well, I am setting the position, so that should be fine. Maybe it's fine. Let's try the size. Let's try a vector 2 cells per chunk, comma cells per chunk. So if I can use this position and it fits, but does it work? I think it works. Let's try it. So if we run this now, it shall work. Yes, it works! We have a rectangle in the upper left corner. Oh. Never mind. Apparently I loaded the wrong image. I loaded the scene where the rectangle is in. Let's try this one. Am I loading this? Am I even loading this? I am. Yeah, try again. Okay. Vector 2 constructor cannot convert from vector 2 to float. Oh. Wait. Hold on. Inish. Did I not update that? I probably didn't forget that, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay, trying one more time. Did I? Am I the wrong one? Okay, try again. What? Oh, it is a vector. Oh my god. It's my mistake. Trying again. There we go. The great thing about Godot, it doesn't take a long time to just run. Unlike Unreal Engine. That takes forever. Vector 2 constructor cannot... yes, that's true. Because now this is a... it is a vector. It's the size vector. Trying once again. For good luck. Crap. Non-existing function. Yes, I should probably set this directly, shouldn't I? Okay. Fourth time is the charm. Haha! It works. We have a rectangle. Let's see if we can make the rest. So what are we doing? We are iterating through this, right? We get the X, we get the Y, we get the chunk position, we append it to this. And then, if we cannot find it, we do this. We create a new instance, we set the position, we initiate it. I'm starting to suspect the position is not correct. Let me reprint this. Just for fun. Chunk. Position. Interesting. Very interesting. We have chunks here, right? So what's different? The positioning is correct. Oh, could it be it's already fixed? Hold on, let me add a randomized color. Hold on, the original code has that version out already, doesn't it? Oh, we got text, that's a good idea. Yeah, let's do that. Let's add text. Oh wait, that's the coordinates. We need to make a new label. Get position. It's our own position we want to get now. And we do need to add a label. So let's close this. Add a little friendly label. So the color rectangle won't be alone. The color is not so good though. Let's see if we can change the default color for this. To, I don't know, brown? Red. Red is good. Okay. Chunk loader, loading. Oh my. Ah yes, let's turn it into a string. I dream of the day when Godot can infer an object to a string by default. Ah, it does work! Cool. Very cool. That's what I suspected. It's just so small that you don't... Well, you don't see it. This is good and all. Let's see if we can make it move with the player as well. And let's see the color. There was a modulate color here, wasn't there? Ah, colors. Let's copy that. So we can test it out for ourselves. Colors is here. Okay, fine. Temporary variables. Chunk data. Pen. What's chunk data? I don't want chunk data colors.
You turned toward me and looked so weak. I've never seen you with such tired eyes. And everything.
Ah, it's just an example. I see, I see. But that's fine, we don't need that. Modulate. What's modulate though? Modulate is stored where? Oh, so oh, interesting. Let's try this. Oh, I forgot to load this. The colors. When you initiate this, we're gonna set the color. Now, is that random though? Was it? Yes, random. Yeah, it's random. There we go. Okay. Ah, cool, cool, very cool. I like that. So the chunk loader. This logic seems to be working just fine. How did they? I guess we can add it in a for loop, right? Not a for loop, a function. No, a process. Cannot think.
Follow me down. There's no one around. Lay back and take your socks and shoes right off.
I don't need a timer here. Not while testing this. Oh my god. Well, this is not working well. Because we need to check that we have moved. So when we have moved, are we going to store previous position or are we going to be doing something smart? Something smartly. Yeah, we have in a list, right? If you don't find it, add it. And then the delete chunk. We haven't done this yet. Load chunks, hold on. Because we did a check earlier, right? Here it is, process. We stored a previous chunk, and this is what we did in the original. We did store a previous chunk and compare. So, previous chunk. But this information should belong to a player. And we haven't gotten that far to get that information yet. Okay, get a new chunk, and if the previous chunk is not equal to current chunk position, then, well, we load it. And hopefully that should fix something. Oh boy, well that's not working. It's really nice though. I like this, like the coloring. Probably because we didn't set the previous position. There we go. Ah, that's better. But we're not deleting anything. Also, why are we not making more? Okay, let's find out. We get the player, we get the position, and you load. That's fine. We have this logic. And the same as this one. Now what is this? Chunk loaded 4. Why do we have this? I don't know. Probably don't need that. Let's see. What are we doing? What are we doing wrong? I suspect the there's something about the chunk key which I don't quite understand. You set the coordinates where? Okay, this is just a key. Ah, okay, so it's not the position itself. You set the text. You add chunk. Hold on. No, you do add it. And load the coordinates. You keep the loaded data in memory, right? And that's a good thing. And append data if you were to add that. We haven't gotten that far yet. We will get there sometime, someday. Tomorrow. We'll get it tomorrow. Okay, we'll be finished with this tomorrow. Okay, seems straightforward. But this is, hold on. How do you display it though? You're just storing the data here. You're not doing anything. This is just a repository of data, so you can retrieve the data here. Where's the position? Am I missing it? There it is. Okay, okay. So right now, every chunk size is 32 by 32. But this is not chunk size. This is just cells per chunk. So if you want chunk size, you want that to be 32 as well. So maybe I am misusing this a little bit, which I suspect I am. How about, no, I want 128. That's very big. Actually, no, it's too big. We won't be able to see it. 64. Just to have different numbers, you know, we need to make it recognizable when we will open and load the map. Let's review. You get the bounds, that's fine. This calculates the width and height of the, no, not width, height, the number of chunks, width and not width, height. Well, yeah, height and width. So that'll be like 3 times 3, 5 times 5, and so on and so on. And then we have prepared a variable for chunks loaded. We are using per loop. Oh, hold on. Loading coordinates. If you can't find it, then you add it. If you do find it, you don't. You delete it. Should probably add this as well. But let's wait with it. We don't need to delete anything yet. What does save do? The active chunk, we have a save, right? World save, save chunk. You restore it. You store it. Okay, you store the data. That's fine. And then you queue free. What? Okay, the chunk node itself you queue free when you save. When I hit save, you're removing this index. Yeah, removing it. Okay. Oh, okay. Ah, of course, save before. Yeah, persistency. To keep it persistent. Okay. Yeah. No, that makes sense. Obviously. So, what about this though? The chunk size was the coordinates times chunk size. You get the position. So if we change this, not to be cells per chunk, but it's probably be cells per chunks times chunk size, if I'm not completely mistaken. Because we are working with the, if I'm not mistaken, the tile positions. Are we? Yeah, we're using the tile positions. And we may want to change that to be like he did in the original. But I want to work with tiles if I can. Because then we work with less smaller numbers, and that should be easier to computate and whatnot. Oh my god, just one. Just a little one. A little tiny one. Oh wait, no. Ah, there they are. There they are. I found it. So now the position is correct. Almost. Not quite. What's wrong is the size as well. Let's see. Let's see. The size of the tile. Each chunk we instantiate. We set the position to be this. And this is correct, because we are assuming this is a tile. You know, what if we don't use tiles? Hold on, let me try something out. Couldn't possibly be it, could it? Let's remove this one. Ah, okay, that was it. Okay, that's good to know. Well, that's Cool, cool, cool. It's very nice. Now we can draw. Okay, so that solves that. So I'm not going to be using tile positions. But it's going to be a bit difficult, because in the example we're not using tiles. We're using just chunks, which is a node. We're not using any sort of coordinate system on a tile map. We do want this to be on a tile map. Hold on. Okay, chunk position, right? Not this one. So this should be times chunk size. But not cells per chunk. Yeah, this should be the same. We should make them the same. Because we're not using cells anymore, and I've been misusing them, I'm sure. So now, having removed that, what do we get? What do we get from this? Yeah, this is the size of a chunk. Oh, I know why. It is right. It is right, because we are using pixels, and when we convert that to a tile map, it'll be bigger. So it was right. It's just okay, let me undo this then. That's a good sign. That's a good sign. Keep this one. So this is wrong. We're not gonna use chunk size. This is the chunk size. But there are also cells per chunk, because because each pixel is going to be its own cell. Pretty much when you do the calculations. Just to confirm it still works. Yes, it does. Let's remove it. Let's, you know. So you have your own list for deleting chunks, and we did that in our own code as well. And that's a good way to do this. Let's create a chunks to delete list. Very simple list, you know. Excuse me. So you go to each x in active coordinate. Now that's a good. That's not a good name. That's not a good name at all. It's not an x. It's a coordinate. Because when you use x in this circumstance, you can misinterpret it as the x as you would in the position. But that's, yeah, okay. For each position, well, you know, for each chunk position. And the chunks loaded, right? Active chords, hold on. Oh yeah, active chords, that's true. So why do you use this one though? This serves no purpose, does it? Oh no, it does. It's outside the loop, of course. Oh my god. Yeah, you do use it. Oh, okay. So you iterate with the active coordinate, right? These are now active, unless you can already find it. And then you append this to the active coordinate list. And when you want to delete chunks, you then iterate through the active coordinates. And if the loading coordinates, this is the data we're gonna, this is the solution. If we cannot find that coordinate, we want to delete that coordinate from the active coordinate. We want to remove it from the active coordinate because it's no longer there. But I don't know if I agree with this method. Hold on, let me think a little bit. So for each chunk position in the active coordinates, maybe. The reason I'm looking at this for so long, it's not that I don't know how to copy paste it, it's just I'm trying to get a greater understanding and see if I can't write it in such a way that it's even more easy to understand, you know? That's a bad habit of mine, I guess. I have a tendency to over focus on one thing. For better and worse, of course. So if it's not in the loading position, I don't like the order of things is happening here. I think that's what's kind of messing up with readability. Because if I were to write this as a text, if I cannot find active, or rather, if I cannot find loaded coordinate in active, remove it. You know, that's how I would write it. If I cannot find the loaded coordinate in active list, whatever you want to call this, remove it. So how would I write that? If I don't do it the same way as this, you know, for each active coordinate, if loading not found, delete coordinate. Maybe it's this one that kind of screws with me. Let's see, if I cannot find, okay, if active list, what's the active list? That's the active has. If it does not has, no wait, that's not right, that's not right. I'm going through each active position. Ah, fuck it. I'll revisit this on my own time. I don't want to waste the entire stream on this one single thing. For each chunk position in active chunk position, if the loaded chunks loaded does not contain find. What's the difference between has and find? Yes, I think has is better, unless find is faster. Is find faster? Because has is easier to read. So if it's no difference, I will be using has. Yeah, way easier. Yeah, let's use has. Why using equal not one, you know, not equals one? Why? If the chunk loader has the does not has the chunk position, well, we want to remove it. We add it to chunks delete. Yeah, straightforward. And underneath there, we iterate through the chunks to delete. So this will be the chunk position in chunks to delete. Yeah, my long variable names. So each chunk position in the chunks to delete, we want to remove it, right? In this case, it's a good place to use find, possibly. Yeah, because it's an array. But did I store it as an array though? I did. Okay, fine, let's use an array. Hold on. Hold on. No, we don't do it this way. We don't have this. So we made a dictionary, right? That dictionary contains the node and the position. So we have the node already. We're done with the node. So chunk. And the ID of this is going to be the chunk position, because that's unique. No chunk position will ever have the same ID or the key. So first get the chunk. Okay, give me the chunk. Then whatever you want to do with it, save data, whatever, you know. Save data. I like save data. And then you remove it from the lists, as well as Q3ing it. Now I don't want to do Q3 inside save data, because I would never expect that. A function should do one thing, you know? It shouldn't do 3 things. Of course, I say that, but, you know. But it shouldn't hide features, is what I really mean to say. So save data, and then chunk Q3 after removing this. You know, we can Q3 right away. Because this is just a reference to this. Oh wait, hold on, this is wrong. Note, there we go. Because these contains lists within themselves, or dictionaries. So this gives us. Hold on, I'm doing this wrong. I apologize. It's not a list. It's an object. So I'm going to remove this. Because the way we did this... Yeah, this is all wrong. Oh my god. Let's undo this. The position should be the key for this. And the value can be the node. Like so. Let's make it into a string, just in case. Maybe we'll mess it up. There's always a chance, you know. So now when I access this dictionary using the key, which is unique, I will get the node. We may not want that. I want to save this like this. Because I am certain once we start working on this, we don't want to save just a node in this dictionary. We want to save node as well as certain data. Possibly position, possibly something else, I don't know. So now, this is correct, because this is now the key that gives us access to the node, which is inside this dictionary again. It's basically a dictionary in a dictionary. So the first dictionary gives us this. Node gives access to this. And that should solve this. So we save data, we Q3, and then we remove this value from the dictionary by doing dictionary erase, was it? And chunk position. You know, I'm gonna undo the string and see if we can make this to work. Yeah, I think that should be fine. It should give us the same functionality as that, at least in theory. Well, what did I open? Did I open something wrong? Yeah, I opened the chunk itself. Let's open the loader. Well, that didn't quite work out. Hold on, let's see what's wrong. Did I forget to add it to the active list at all? That's a possibility. A very, very likely possibility. I don't seem to have added it, did I? Yeah, we did not add it to the active chunk positions, which is a separate list. Okay, so you load. If you cannot find this, it means it's a new thing. It's a new position. But we don't need to use a separate list for that, do we? Do we? I mean, add it here, right? And we use this. Yeah, we don't need to use this list. I can use the dictionary and check that instead of this. Because what you're doing here, you're just going through the list of data we just already stored here. And if I want to do that, for each key in chunk dictionary, and the key is the position. So let's name that to key position. We do the same. If you just cannot find this key in the chunks loaded, well, then you need to remove it or add it to the other list. Let's try it and see if it works. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, I don't know. Oh, can I find index node on array? Hello, chunk dictionary. Oh, yes. That's my mistake. Let's remove this. It should not be this way at all. Make it an empty dictionary. Try again. There we go. What happens? Not quite. I mean, you can see one node disappear there. So you know, not enough though. We need to delete more. Let's see. So for each key position in this, you add it to a new list, which is the key. So if loaded does not have this key, it means this is a new position. It doesn't contain. It's not one of the current load positions. So this is right. And then for each position in the positions to delete, you get this and you attempt to erase this. But I'm curious about this part. Am I really erasing this? Chunk dictionary. There we go. Let's see what we get. Oh my god. Okay. What's going on? Before. All this. Okay, all this. After. You know, let's not print all that. How about size? Yeah, size. I expect it to be undone. Is this even working? I mean, it's really strange. Yeah, I can move without triggering, right? Now I should delete. Okay, before, after, hold on. Yeah, as we can see, we're only deleting one. And why do I have 12 to begin with? That doesn't make much sense. Why do I have 12? Yeah, no, did I not remove it from the dictionary? Here? I should be removing this, right? Yeah. Chunk position in... For each key position in chunk... If the chunks loaded does not have that, we should be appending everything, right? Yeah. Let's debug. That may be the easiest way to do this. What's going on? Okay, chunk position -1, 0. Bounce is 3. Chunk loaded is an array of 9. That's what we want. So what's happening in the chunk dictionary? Chunk dictionary, show me your secrets. Yeah, this also has a size of 9. But are the values the same? That's a good question. Ah, I see. Chunks loaded. Yeah, we're not we're not comparing the same. These are vector 2D. So what if I do a string wrapper around this? Will that make it work? Oh my. Turn it off. Well, okay, that's worse than ever. What did I do? Okay, there it is. Hold on. Oh no, this is wrong. Oh yes, okay. You know what? How about this? Every node has a status. It's active is true, right? Yeah, it's more inefficient. You know what? Let's undo this. Let's undo this. Let's use the separate list. The way as he has intended. If I can find it, where is it? Now this we can keep, but it's the list, the other list I want. What? Hold on. Something is off. What time is it? I have to go in about 10 minutes, I think. What's my phone? Oh my god. Let's see. Okay, get the key. That seems to be final. I don't like this. Can I do has? Yes. So if it doesn't have. Message node, you what? Oh, this is the same. Hold on, it is the same. This is the same as this. We are storing the position right here. Do I want to add a position here as well? The same thing? I mean, that would be fine, I guess. So this would be the vector then, and as the key, we could store this as a string, I guess. I don't know. It's really... I don't know. So active chords. If it's not already there, then you add it, right? Oh my god, that's why. That's why. If the dictionary does not have this new position, then you add it. I think that's what the mistake was. Probably among other mistakes, because that's the way we code here. We, you know, make mistakes. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that's what the mistake was. It wasn't that the system, the dictionary I used was a bad choice. It's just that I oversaw a variable. This looks pretty sweet. Let's see if we can't increase the size, see if that works. Let's try 5 by 5. Ah, man, it doesn't work, my god. Let's see, why doesn't that work? I'm not using it. Why am I not using it? Chunk distance. What is render distance? I have that? Oh, that's why. Okay, try it one more time. Now we should get 5 by 5. If that works, I'll be happy with today's stream. Yes, excellent. So basically, we did the same that was here. So the next step is, now by the way, each pixel is going to be a tile on this, and that's why it's so small right now. So tomorrow we are going to be adding this, these coordinates onto a TileMap. So all the data we have stored on this node, it's not going to be a node. It's going to be inserted onto a TileMap. And when we send data between the server and client, we're going to be sending this node with the information. And then the player will load that separately. With items, by the way, not the tiles themselves. The world generation will be happening on the player's side alone, by itself. What the server will do is, when the player connects, is going to be sending the server information, the seed, the configuration, all that. So the player will see what all the other players see, as well as what the server expects. And of course, that in theory, that does mean the player could probably somehow hack and override the seed and get a different world. Well, what's going to happen is this player will then no longer be able to interact with anything, you know? But we may change that. We may make it all server side, including the world generation. I'm not entirely sure. We will probably discover challenges and probably new opportunities while we develop on this, because we will be adding, let's say, swimming. That means we'll have to interact with the background tile of the water, and I'm not entirely sure if that will work properly. At least how the validating will be going on. It could probably work fine if I just make this client send a message to the server asking if I can swim when the player thinks it's swimming, you know. And then if the server detects and yeah, no, I don't think it's a problem. I think that's gonna be fine. This is cool. I like this. By the way, if you are on Twitch and you're lurking or whatever, let's see if I can get this up here. I would highly recommend this channel. If you're interested in what I'm doing, you will probably be more than interested in what he is doing. This is Retro MMO, and he's working on an MMO based on the classic, classic NES games and whatnot. So check him out. And I would like to use this opportunity to raid, if you don't mind, his content, because his content is amazing. You're gonna love him, I promise you. I will be hanging out there probably for the rest of the day. If I can find out how I raid this guy. Retro MMO. You can check him out on retrommo.com, I believe. I'm not completely wrong. Let's see. Please allow me to try to see if we can't surprise him, if we're willing, you know. His content, though, is amazing. I love it so much. He has a browser-based web game called Retro MMO. If you have played something like Nostalgia, did that work? I don't think that worked. Hold on, let me try again. Let me open a new browser and try. His game is very inspired by Nostalgia, which is a very old school game you can find on Steam. But his game is gonna be way better. So check him out. And thank you for following. Bye bye. I can stop the stream. Oh my god, I cannot